What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Teach Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Teach Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Teach Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Teach Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What's going on, friends and family? How y'all feel today? Yeah. 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 What's going on, friends and family? How y'all feel today? Yeah. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Snowing here on the West Coast. It's reflected in your actions. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Trill Mercy said bless. Aloha says Angie. It's in the we in here. We in here. Starting to warm up finally. Oh, that ain't no time to get relaxed. That's the time to buckle in because when it starts to get warm outside, when it started to get warm outside, that's when everybody started to get relaxed. What up, though? What's happening, friends? 70s here thawing out. What's good, AD? Life is good, man. I can't complain. I can't complain even a little bit. What's going on? You know what? I ran across this morning. Somebody sent me this. Well, first of all, let me share this with you guys. This is from when I was on Fresh and Fit. And they said, remember that you said this because I make so much content and so many videos. And they said, remember when you said this on Fresh and Fit's podcast? And I said, So let me share that. They coming for you.
Yep.
Even if y'all don't know it, even if they glazing you, I'm telling you that they working to make sure that they replace you.
Ooh.
And I ain't even just talking about when it comes to streaming. They want your life. They want the cars. They want your woman. They want your clout. If they're able to, listen, it's a lot of the people that's in the game right now, and this is always the way that it's been. It's a lot of the people that's in the game right now that if they could talk about you and get clout, they would.
Yeah.
But because you a cool person, if you give them an opportunity to collab, that same person that will talk about you will collab with you just so they can get the clout. Clout in this game is more important than actual money.
Yeah.
It's more important than the money itself.
There's no
Did I call it or did I call it? Did I call it or did I call it? Did I call it or did I not call it? It's Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. Welcome to the Millionaire Morning Show. Welcome to the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm telling you, that's what life is about. I'm talking about in real life. I didn't get to be 43 years old and successful for no reason. I didn't get to be 43 years old and successful for no reason. I'm just telling you. In the meantime, what I would like from you guys, oh, snaps, we hit another milestone. Hold on, let me share this too. So shout out to everybody that's on the platform. Shout out to the chasers. We hit 1.28 million subscribers. And I would like to get to 1.3. I would like to get to 1.3 by sometime next month. All right. So it looked like we got about 20,000 more subscribers before we get to 1.3. I would like to get to 1.3 sooner rather than later. And that way we can start focusing on 1.4. One step at a time, 1 foot at a time, one focused narrative at a time. You got to remember that you can't ever let anything and anyone or any group or any distractions get in the way of what you're working toward. Guess what we don't do? We don't take hiatuses. We don't take time off. We don't sit and go back and forth. I got 280,000 more in record time. So we go. Listen, we working. We're working. We work. At the end of the day, the reason that we the chasers, and if you're not a part of the Patreon, I dropped a video yesterday that showcased you no matter where I am, I work. At the end of the day, I dropped a video on the Patreon. We got a content creation live stream so that I can break down to y'all what the strategy is, why we make more money than everybody else, and how you can leverage strategy and predictability in order to run up a bag. Okay? So I'm going to give y'all that. That's the game for the chasers. If you're not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Matter of fact, let me go and check. We got to be at 21,000 by now, right? On the Patreon? We got to be there. If we're not there, we close. Okay. All right. So we almost there. We at 20,965 bag chasers. 20,965. All right. We'll be there for the end of the month at 21. And that's because the chasers is going to do what they're going to do regardless. All right. All right. So anyways, make sure y'all, again, if y'all not a part of the Patreon, make sure you tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I got new Teach Henley ads coming soon. So we working on those. We focusing on the treatment, and we're going to be shooting those shortly. And we're going to get to it. All right? Y'all ready to get to it? Ain't nothing left to do it but to do it, but to get to it. I was looking at, before I get started with the show, I was looking at some of the OG YouTubers that I used to follow, and man, they gave up. It's a lot of people that gave up, sold out, quit. Hurt my heart. Hurt my heart. This is one of the guys I used to follow. His name was The Trooper. He was a guy that actually he had went to Vegas. His YouTube channel was based off of the idea that he was going to go to Vegas and he was going to set it up, and he was planning on moving to Vegas, and he was going to vlog it, and he was going to beat it from poker and all of that. And he came up with a strategy, and he moved out there, and he was one of the OG YouTubers. He was one of the OG YouTubers. He had came up with a plan to move to Vegas, and it was crazy.
I got to edit a lot of this shit out because I'm just talking nonsense. About my damn coffee. What's happening? So here's the situation. First of all, let me just say that I have 10 days left to work at the job, which includes tonight. It's Friday. I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I have 7 days left, Monday through Sunday, and then Sunday will be my last day. So the purpose of this video right now is to include part 2 of the previous vlog, the last vlog that I did, which I sort of wish I didn't say I cut it into 2 parts, because the second part is really kind of play some online poker or whatever, because I really intend to play a lot of poker. As far as things right now go, I'm getting really anxious. My thoughts are a bit scattered.
So he used to work at a restaurant, and he wound up quitting his job, and he worked at Mitchell's restaurant, and then he drove to Vegas, and he quit, and he winged it.
I'm going to Vegas. Here we go. It's time to go to Vegas. And check out this send-off, right? What?
He packed all of his stuff and he moved to Vegas. And this was 11 years ago. That damn. Time flies so crazy. 11 years ago. Well, I went and checked on him, and I wanted to see what was going on with him. He basically quit.
So today, this night isn't over. It's about 9, this negative EV and all these things. A lot of people believe they know a lot of things, and I believe that I have a little bit of an edge on a lot of, not everyone. I don't know everything, but
this is his apartment. I guess he's sleeping on the floor. This was 6 months ago.
But I mean, pretty much what I've been doing day in and day out, I don't know. So what can I tell you? It's August. It's hot as hell outside. It's usually hot as hell in the Westgate, but tonight it's freezing. I don't know why. It's freezing in the casino. Click the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends about the videos. Leave a comment down below. And it's weird to say that. It's weird to say I'll see you next time. I mean, I guess I'll see you next time. It's just that my life for the past 4 months since we closed the Candy Kitchen has been to just try to survive and pull a bankroll together. And every penny that we have to our names has come from playing poker, making the YouTube videos, coming to Trooper Thursday, selling a tiny bit of merchandise, and now Action Pursuit. It's all come from that. Every single penny. And it has been a struggle. And it remains a struggle. And there are options. And there are things that I could do differently. You know what I mean? And I don't know exactly what we're going to do. So when I say I'll see you next time, I mean, what does that even mean?
So he basically gave up after 11 years, and he topped out at like 46,000 subscribers. He had exploded at one point, and he was basically the OG inspiration behind a lot of people. Hardly Initiated, they gave up. I mean, you know, they quit. And so
when you see that,
it's like they gave the channel up, or they gave somebody else the channel. This is, I think, maybe going to be the new girl that's going to be a part of the Hardly Initiated channel. But one of them got married, and then, you know, they basically moved on. And so the Hardly Initiated guys, they decided to bow out. I actually talked to them, and I'm really good friends with them. So they was telling me that they was looking to make an exit. And one of the things that he said that I thought was pretty interesting was one of them recently got married, right? And he was saying that, I watched a little bit of it, and he was saying that, you know, him getting married changed his perspective, right? Them getting married changed their perspective, because what it did was they said that they had posted their wife, their spouse. They had posted their spouse, and they got so much backlash and so many negative comments when they posted their spouse that affected them. And they said that they was okay with dealing with the backlash, but they was not okay with what happened with their child. I mean, what happened with their wife now that they had recently got married and people was going at their wife. And they said that they didn't want their kids to be growing up in the comments. I think that all of that is fair. And these are some good guys. The guys from Hardly Initiated are some really, really good guys. You building a plane as you fly it, bro. I remember how Damn I Rock, he went crazy. You building a plane as you fly it, literally. This was him. Oh, he killed his channel. He killed his channel and he started all over? Oh, no. This used to be him right here.
I got questions, but before I can get any of them out, Sam asked me one. How do you want to be remembered when you die? Told him, I don't really. You ever been chilling somewhere and a song come on the radio, and when the beat drop, that shit be so dope that it make you want to start rapping? Hey, yo, Biz, bust that shit.
I used to love watching his videos, bro.
I got questions.
What the heck happened?
Yeah, y'all thought I forgot about y'all ass. I can never forget about you, yeah. I got some good news, and I got some more good news. Here.
Bro, this internet is kicking ass. I remember his dog died, and then his friend died, and all of this. This was one of the best YouTubers that I had seen in a while. The internet, we now live in an era and an age where we can encapsulate and look at what happened to people, whether they took off and then whether they maintained success, or whether they burned out, or whether the internet kicked their ass and they were in life circumstances, real life kicked their ass and they was telling their story online. We now are just now, you know how women that say that they didn't need a man are now starting to actually be past middle age, and they really do have a cat, they really do buy a dog and die alone. And we're starting to see the residual effects of that. That is what we're now starting to see on the internet, bro. We are starting to see the results of maybe the stress, maybe the pressure, when people make it or they don't make it, people deciding to move on in a better space, or people deciding that they don't want to move on in a better space, or they come back and they start over and they say, because I think he had to have well over a million subscribers, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he had well over 1 million subscribers. Now he's starting over. He said, chat, we back. This is his old stuff. Oh, no, this is newer stuff. This is crazy, bro.
Yeah, y'all thought I forgot about y'all ass. I could never forget about you, yeah. I got some good news, and I got some more good news. Hear me out. In the last video, I know I told y'all we was going Battlefield 6, but I'm gonna be real with you. I don't plan on staying in Atlanta too much longer. So I was thinking to myself, should I really get a PS5 and do this gaming shit? Quick side note, I done did 2 PS5 giveaways already. Still ain't get me one and shit. So since I don't plan on staying here and I need a more reliable way to get this content out, I was like, yo, why don't I just game from the PC? So I got this bitch in the mail last night.
Yeah. He was the king at one time. He was a king at one time. Kind of reminds me of honestly, man, a lot of this shit just reminds me of like The Wire and Snowfall and all of this stuff, man. Like seriously. And you know what the interesting thing about The Wire and all of that type of stuff is, and we about to jump into the show, is that there will never ever, regardless of what the results are, regardless of who you see make it or who you don't see make it, guess what you always gonna have? Similar to the dope game. People still wanting to get to the top. You're never gonna have a shortage of people that want to be dealers, that's willing to put their life on the line. You're never gonna have a shortage of people that want to be famous. Even if you warn them against it, even if you warn them against the culture, if you warn them, hey man, this is not what you want to do. I tell people a lot of times, I warn them, I say, hey, don't have joint accounts as far as like joint YouTube accounts or joint social media. If she gonna do her thing, let her do her thing. If he gonna do his thing, let him do his thing. Separate that shit. Protect your family. Protect your kids, all of that. Don't put them on the internet because it may seem cool today, but it's gonna ultimately come back tomorrow if you ever explode and become successful. People don't listen to you. They don't listen. They don't care. It's always going to be somebody new. No matter what goes on, whether you right, wrong, successful, unsuccessful, 2 things is going to be for certain. It's always going to be some people that's willing to clout chase their way to the top, number 1. And number 2, it's always going to be people that want the top spot. And so the thing that you got to ask yourself is, what's meaningful to you? What I decided, as I'm looking at my analytics right now, is I'm not ready to relinquish the spot yet. I haven't even got my feet wet. I'm just getting comfortable. I'm just getting comfy. I was made for this internet shit. You know what I'm saying? I know it be stressing niggas out. I know niggas is trying to figure out what's the next move or whatever like that. I love this shit. This is my niche. This is my calling. Why would I ever give up the top spot? Why would I ever do that? I already said that I was gonna come for the top spot. Now that I'm sitting here, I feel good. I feel comfortable. I see niggas arguing all at the bottom in the comments, fighting, trying to get their spot up, trying to get their subscribers up. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. You know what I'm saying? I watched a lot of people hold the crown, and I was happy for them when they did. It's my time now, bro. That's just a life. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm just getting started. I plan on being here for a while. You know what I'm saying? Somebody told me YouTube was messing up yesterday too. Is that true? Is that true? YouTube was messing up yesterday? I want to read some of the cash apps and some of the super chats and acknowledge some of the people. And then we're going to go from there. Because I want you. Let me see something real quick. I see people partnering. People doing live streams together and all of that, huh? It's crazy. I guess I'm still the STEMI pack, huh? All right, well, I guess we can keep it waiting. All right, let's continue on with the show. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. All right. Y'all ready to get it popping? What we got on the docket today? I got to acknowledge the people first. First of all, Spencer Campbell. Shout out to my dog, Spencer Campbell. Says, good morning, AD and the Bag Chasers. God bless. Mike, that dude. I appreciate you, Mike, that dude, for continuing to hold me down. Let's see what we got. Coach Chris says, AD, what's the book definition of a bag chaser? A bag chaser is a person that's basically chasing greatness, chasing their purpose, chasing God, and then everything else comes along with it. The money, the marriage, the women, the great kids, the great life, all of that stuff comes with it. All right, so bag chasers are basically chasing greatness. Everything else comes along with it. Nothing and nobody can stop you. Nothing and nobody can harm you. Nothing and nobody can get in your way. All right, what you like better, the Escalade or Denali? I like the Navigator Black Label better. I looked at the Escalade. I looked at the Yukon Denali. I looked at all of that. I like the Escalade. I like the Navigator the best. I like the Nav. What else we got popping off? Tony Esquire says, what's good, AD, for February? Could you consider movie reviews focusing on Black culture? For music, I recommend Purple Rain, Dreamgirls, Get Rich or Die Trying. You want me to do movies or music? Because you naming music. Get Rich or Die Trying and Get On Up. Rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. You talking about movies or music? Slow Money says, AD, what's a good book on asking good questions and negotiating? I don't think that you need a book on asking good questions and negotiating. Really, it's just the art of conversation. You know what I'm saying? Conversation is being able to listen and respond effectively. So I don't think it's a book. I think you just need to get out into the wild and practice and get it popping. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all. I'm going to continue to read super chats throughout the show. I appreciate you. Let's see what's happening in these streets, man. Everybody quitting. Talked about Michael Jordan last night. Clifton Powell. AOC's word salad. Let's go to AOC.
Yeah.
Let's go to CBS first and see what's happening in these streets.
You know what time it is. We just promoted. It's political panel time. Democratic strategy on social media before we decide to confer upon them legitimacy via the.
I think that
about U.S. troops deployment to Taiwan should China make a move. Watch.
you know, I think that this is such a, I think that this is of course a very longstanding policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point. And we
Hold on. Where's the original source?
I think China is, of course, an ascendant global power, growing very quickly, acting in its own self-interest. And oftentimes in Washington, there's this frame between conflict and competition. I think sometimes, depending on what's happening, that rhetoric can get a little conflict-driven. And I think that it's really a question of competition, and to the governor's point, fair competition. But when I think about that, I think about how the United States, if you want to assert oneself as a global competitor, the kinds of things that one would do in order to really assert that position is investments in science and technology, which we are gutting our NIH, we are gutting our health science research, we are cutting the very things that make us a global power in that respect in terms of government and public funded research, which is what allows innovation in a more broad sense as opposed to privatized research. An ascendant global power would invest heavily in innovative energy solutions so that it could be sovereign in terms of in that respect. And the United States at this point, instead of expanding our energy mix, we are actively narrowing our energy mix to become increasingly more reliant on fossil fuels instead of, in contrast to what you see is happening in China. Yes, they burn a very large amount of fossil fuels, but they have also invested dramatically in wind and solar and in energy innovation. And so to me, I see this as a question of competition and of course of trade, to the governor's point, but we have to make sure that we are having, I think, a reflection and a reflective conversation about how are we positioning ourselves to continue to offer the world the best of what America has to offer.
And to all of you, and Congressman, I'll start with you, would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a, I think that this is of course a very longstanding policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point. And we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
Are we kidding ourselves here? Are we all watching the same thing or are we off? Are we kidding ourselves here, or are we all watching the same conversation? Is she dumb? Yo, this is a person that's actually can helping to control the purse strings of the United States of America. What did I just watch?
And Congressman, I'll start with you. Would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
You know, I think that this is such a, you know, I think that this is this is, of course, a very longstanding policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point. And we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation and for that question to even arise.
Let me say this. The reason why the United States of America is a world power is not just because of our economic research and our investment in public funding for the opposition of fossil fuels or any of that type of stuff. The reason why the United States of America is in a great position in the world is because of where we're positioned and that we have the best military. The military is the best investment that anybody can make. We have all of the innovation, we have all of the companies, we have all of the money, and we got the military. I'm just telling you the truth. At any point, and we playing chess with the world now, because we basically funded China to ultimately become an economic world power. And so at some point, the same way that we just took over Venezuela is the same way that China is looking at Taiwan, especially from a chip manufacturing perspective. The straits over near Taiwan, right? Everything is money, but it's also positioning and it's controlling and it's power, right? How we cut off China and Russia and Iran when it came to them pillaging and taking oil from over in Venezuela, and then now we choking off Cuba. All of this, all of our ability to be able to do that is based off of our military. It's funny because when you think about Trump, right, and you think about the fact that Congress, which also includes AOC and Bernie Sanders and all of the rest of these incompetent Democrats that you see happening out here, and you ask them a simple question with regard to Taiwan, and she has no clue whatsoever. If it's not for her aides, if it's not for the people that's inside of her offices giving her and helping her with all of the different things that she has to make a decision on, I don't even believe that most of these people have ability to make the decision for themselves anyway. I genuinely don't. I don't think that these people actually get it. I don't think that they understand it. I don't think that they know what they're talking about. I think that they are just as clueless as the people that vote for them most of the time. I believe that they are just as clueless as the people that vote for them most of the time. They have no clue what's going on, no clue what they're talking about, and they are as dumb as a box of rocks. And these are the people that make a decision on how our budget is supposed to happen. And they negotiate with Trump on how we're supposed to keep the government open. No wonder the government is shut most of the time. No wonder they can't decide what gets funded and what doesn't get funded. She's immune. She can't even. Oh, wait a minute. Gretchen Whitmer is there too? That's the governor of Michigan. I didn't know that Gretchen was there. Let me see something.
This is of course a very longstanding policy.
Much more Steve. Want a bailout? Watch.
On Ukraine, what does victory look like?
Ambassador. No, please. I'd love to hear your answer.
You know, it is. The two that I am on the panel with are much more steeped in foreign policy than a governor is.
So then, what are you doing there? I guess is my.
This is the Michigan governor. A lot of people are not familiar with the Michigan governor, but this is the Michigan governor, and they asked her a basic question about what does victory look like. What does victory look like in Ukraine? Which any politician on all levels, any politician on all levels should be able to answer this basic question. No? No. If you are the governor of a state, if you are the mayor, if you are an alderman, city council person, if you are the president of the United States of America, if you're a congressperson, if you're a part of the House, any judiciary committee, if you are an aide, anything, any person that is involved in government should be able to answer a basic question for foreign affairs. They didn't ask you something deep and the deep state or anything like that. They asked you a basic question. They said, what does victory look like with Ukraine? They asked AOC about Taiwan. They asked Governor Whitmer about what does victory look like with Ukraine. And neither one of these women, neither one of these women, now, Eric D says, now I have no problem with her answer. Her responsibility is to the state of Michigan. You reach an Anton. No. Okay, so let me ask you a question then, Eric. Why is she in Munich having a conversation in a roundtable where she's participating in conversations about foreign affairs? Listen, if you can't answer a basic question, that's a problem, bro. Because you shouldn't be in politics. Because everything that everybody does affects everybody. Everything that everybody does affects everybody. So she's only supposed... Am I only supposed to know about YouTube, or is it important for me to understand every aspect of content creation? If somebody asks me a question about monetization, am I only supposed to understand it from one lens? Or as a content creator, is it my duty to become familiar with everything content related so that I can maximize and then grow whatever it is that we're doing within the company? As a business leader, is it important for you to understand the automotive sector if you're the CEO of an automotive company? Or is it important for you to understand the landscape of everything that is going to affect what you have going on within your company? Interest rates, right? That affects your ability to borrow. The landscape as far as purchasing, buying power, tariffs, right? How can a company make a decision on pricing or what products that they need to be working on and releasing if they don't understand how they're going to be affected in foreign trade and tariffs and what's happening with China and chip manufacturing? Because there's a bunch of chips inside of the vehicle that you drive, right? If a business person is supposed to be familiar and steeped politically on what's going on, because your ability to answer a question or understand foreign policy and everything is going to affect the well-being of your company, which ultimately affects your shareholders, your employees, and everything, is it not justified for you to understand everything? How can somebody that could potentially put their hat in the ring to, in some way, shape, or form, because she's up here in Michigan, I'm reaching? So wait. So are you guys telling me that it's not realistic for somebody that is in politics to be able to answer a basic question about what's happening in Ukraine, that AOC first should be able to answer a question about Taiwan, and that Gretchen Whitmer shouldn't be pausing this long in order to be able to answer a basic question. They didn't ask them about strategy. They didn't ask them about whether or not American troops should head over there. They didn't answer any of these. You're telling me that we shouldn't be able to hold our politicians accountable for being able to speak to the basics of politics, civics 101? Really? But they are qualified and justified to be able to run a whole fucking state. And they're sitting on a panel where they're being asked questions about this. Why would you go and sit on a panel and you can't be? So did you think that they were only going to be asking you questions about Michigan when you decided to get on this panel? Did you think that they were only going to ask you questions with regard to Michigan? Okay, then why the fuck you there then? Why are you there if you can't answer a basic question? Because they're not asking you nothing about Detroit. They're not asking you anything about Michigan. They're not asking you anything about what's happening in the Upper Peninsula. They're asking you questions with regard to the things that people want to know. This is crazy. The bar is in hell. The bar is in hell. We don't have no standards for our politicians or anybody for that matter. We don't have no standards. That's not, wait. That's not a basic question, Eric? Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Let me read. Let me re-see this.
Again, an obvious one, you would think at the Munich Security Conference, and she appeared to want a bailout. Watch.
The Munich Security Conference. That's where they at. On a panel, on a roundtable panel.
On Ukraine, what does victory look like?
Ambassador.
No, please. I'd love to hear your answer.
You know, it is. The two.
Deer in headlights. A deer in headlights.
No, please. I'd love to.
Now, let me ask you a question. Eric. If this was Gavin Newsom, would you have the same energy? If this was Gavin Newsom, because he's the governor of California, would we have this same energy? Nope, we wouldn't. I bet you Mamdani can answer the question. As much as I don't like Mamdani, and as much as I don't like what's going on in New York right now, I bet you Mamdani can answer it. I bet you he can answer the question. Regardless of whether we agree or not, of what his answer is or his strategy, I bet you he can answer the question. Oh, he's running for president, so it's different. So he's supposed to, because he hasn't announced that he's running for president. That's speculation. He hasn't announced it. Why do we have, come on, man. Eric, I'm not going to let you get away with this. I'm not going to let you get away with this, bro. At all. You know that these people are incompetent, they imbeciles, and if they don't have talking points, and this is one of the things that Kamala Harris got exposed for, in the last election. Kamala Harris got exposed for this very same thing. And you know what it was? Is that she didn't have any kind of insight, understanding. After 4 years inside of the White House, she had no ability to communicate effectively, policy, speak on foreign policy, be accountable for the things that happen inside of the White House, or differentiate herself from any other person that could have been standing up there as an NPC. None of them know anything about anything unless somebody hands them a cue card and say, hey, this is what you got to say. And then that's one of the reasons why Kamala Harris was very careful about the amount of time that she spent in front of an interviewer. And she was very careful about the questions that the people wanted to ask her. And as she went on Shannon Sharp instead of going on Joe Rogan, because Shannon was happy to have her and Joe wouldn't have cared. Because you can't finesse your way out of a 2-3 hour interview. That's the difference. I'm going to give y'all 25, 30, 40, 50 minutes, and you can't finesse your way out of a 3+ hour live stream. You can't do it. You can't do it. You sit and you talk with a woman long enough, she'll tell you everything you need to know. All you got to do is sit and talk with her. That's why women don't like coffee dates, because they got to talk. Oh, y'all didn't think I was going to go there? That's why women don't like coffee dates. It's not that it's a low effort date. It's because you got to sit there and you got to communicate effectively. And when you look behind the walls, you say, ain't nothing there. Don't let them trick you. Don't let them fool you into thinking, let me tell you something, bro. They'll go the same night with no words for the guy that they like. What makes you think that they think that that's low effort? Ain't nothing low effort for the woman that like you. It don't take effort. All it takes is a phone call. Hey, where you at? You busy? You got some availability? Hey, why don't you come through? Okay. They never say no. They never say no. And the reason why they don't like coffee dates is because they got to sit there and talk with their clothes on. And they can't finesse you with the clothes on. See, when they sitting there with their clothes, you know what I'm saying, looking all sexy and with their clothes off, and the nighttime, that's a defense mechanism. You like coffee dates, Angie? That's a defense mechanism. When you got to sit there in the daytime, what you gonna talk about? Because now we got to have a conversation. Hey, so what you do for a living? That's how it starts off. Listen, this is how it's gonna go. I'm in between jobs right now. Oh, AKA you unemployed. Oh yeah, what side of town you stay on? I'm helping out my parents right now. I decided to move in and help them out. Oh, you homeless. Okay, I got you. All right. Unemployed, homeless. Cool. So, you got it, how you feel about kids? Oh, well, I got 2 of my own. So where they daddy at? And how many daddies are there? They don't want to talk on no coffee date. They want to sit in an intimate setting where you asking her about her love, because the nighttime is different than the daytime. The nighttime, she want to talk about her love language, emotional intelligence, all of the talking points that they get from whatever their latest podcast is. All right. In the daytime, with the clothes on, with the lights on, and everybody around you, she can't trick you. Can't trick you. Can't trick you. Now I gotta listen to what's in between them ears. Can't get out of there fast enough. Because we got all day. See, when you ordering drinks and people get inebriated, they touch your shoulder and all of that shit. We got to sit across from each other at the table. So what'd you go to school for? Oh, I'm still there. Still there. You said you're unemployed. You ain't got no job. Yeah, I went back to school. I decided to go and get my degree. I'm going to go in and get my master's and my, So that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I decided that I wanted to pay off my student loans early. How do you feel about this administration and student loans? I applied to have mine forgiven. Now you starting to see behind that thing. Now you starting to see behind the 8 ball. And they can't run out on you. they can't dodge their way out of this. Can't take no Instagram pictures of your coffee. Now you got to talk. Oh, listen. It's not low effort. It's too much information. And that's the same way that I see these women up here, Gretchen Whitmer and AOC. You got a waitress, and I don't know where the fuck Gretchen Whitmer came from and how she just became governor, but she put on some buffs. That's how they got her. Listen, that's all you got to do for black people. Yo, Gretch, big Gretch. Yo, what you got going on? You down with Detroit? I'm down with Detroit. She do the blade. She put on the buffs. That's what she did. She did the blade and she put on the buffs.
Collective resilience, courage, and resolve to protect our communities. When it's safe to do so, I'm looking forward to accepting the many cookout invitations that were sent my way. But until then, stay home.
That's all she had to do. And we was down for the cause. And we said, boss up and get this money. Boy, would you? Boss up and get this money. With joy, with you, and when niggas went hook, line, and sinker. Oh shit, we got a snow bunny. She said she looking to be invited to the barbecue, and she put on the buffs. Boy, boss up and get this money. With you, boss up and get this money, and we fell hook, line, and sinker. Ain't nothing like a pretty face, slim waist. It don't matter if you a snow bunny. Or if you a light-skinned, chocolate, Asian, don't matter. If you halfway decent and you say you want to be invited to the cookout, and boy, boss up and get this money. With you, boss up and get this. You throw on some buffs, you do whatever the black people think is cool, and you're in there, buddy. Don't matter what the policies are. Don't matter if they letting all of the goddamn facilities that they using in order to get the AI, all of them is in our backyard. Utica, taking up all of our water sources. Fucking have all of these AI plants here in Michigan, throwing the whole state into chaos. Hey, sell off our water, sell off our farmland, sell off our infrastructure, sell it all. Boss up and get this money. Would you? Boss up and get this money. We are performative. Fucking performative group of people that as long as you do the thing that make black people feel good about themselves, it's over. Now tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me one thing I lied about so far. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I'm gonna break it down for you. I'm gonna break it down from you. J Maxi, this is the difference. This is the difference. It's a lot of content creators that think that they know how to create content. And once I take my STEMI pack back, if I decide to take my STEMI, it's working out for me right now. Woo! I think we just jumped another 100 subscribers. It's working out for me right now. Once I take my STEMI pack back, the streets is going to be starving. You know why? Because they don't have no analysis. They can't break things down to help people to understand. They don't know anything except for dick, pussy, conversations. Drooling out the side of their mouth. Oh my God. Who? What? That's all they know. That's all they know is dick and pussy conversation. That's okay. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. All right? Boss up and get this money. I had somebody that emailed me this morning, bro. I shouldn't have been surprised, but I was. I had people that emailed me this morning, and you know what they told me? Y'all know what they told me? You want me to tell you what they told me? I'm going to tell you what they told me. They said, Anton, we don't want to talk about Jesse Jackson dying. You have to change the subject matter for Room 9. I said, wait a minute. I thought y'all wanted me to talk about positive, negative, politics, culture, relationships, people in the news, making the news. They said, no, we only want the degenerate shit. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. People are mad that I added Jesse Jackson in the beginning of the show yesterday as a part of the icebreaker to acknowledge a civil rights leader. They don't want that. They want blood in the streets. They want blood in the streets. This is delayed on here, so I'm looking at I'm checking the chat. There's a chat, the chat's still a part of the show, so I got to show love to the chat. They want blood in the streets. They don't want positivity. They don't want growth. They don't want opportunity. That's why I separate the shit, and that's why I give all of the gems to the bag chasers. If y'all not a part of the bag chasers, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. They are demons. They are demons. That's all right. We're a higher caliber of people over here, and we're going to go in and we're going to do it differently. All right? J Mac says, I want to buy a business from Acquire or Flipper. My budget is $5,000 to $10,000. Any advice? All right, I'm about to give you some advice. It's not going to be the advice that you want, but it's going to be the advice that you need. Fam, if you got 5 to 10, listen. First of all, you need to come up with your own business, because if they're trying to sell it on there, chances are it's not worth it. That's number one. Number two, there is no business idea that you cannot vet out for $2,000 to $3,000. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're making an app. I don't care if you're trying to get into real estate. I don't care if you're trying to start a restaurant. And I talk about this in the Patreon. There is no business idea that you cannot effectively vet out for $2,000 to $3,000 to figure out whether or not this is something that you really want to pursue. Number three, you need more money. Because any business that you want to buy, you also have to take into consideration being able to sustain such business. Most businesses don't make money to where you actually are able to pay yourself in the first 2 to 3 years. So my advice would be to pay off all of your debt, reduce your lifestyle, stack your money up, get you a brokerage account, make sure you're investing, make sure you tap into the Patreon, because we talk about which companies and how to vet which companies to invest in, because that is the fastest way to get a return on your money without having to actually buy a brick and mortar, put out a product. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't start a business, but you should be growing your money in the meantime, and you should continue to stack your money and let it compound over a period of time. That way, once you then find a real business opportunity that you can invest in without being stressed out, you have the capital to do so. That's what I would tell you. And it ain't gonna come quick. It ain't gonna come easy, bro. It's nothing that comes easy and quick. I'm not buying shit from Acquire or Flipper. Me personally. Now, again, I know that that's not the advice that you want to hear, but it's the truth.
And I'm never going to tell you to do something that I wouldn't do myself. Chris Cunningham in the building says, when you hang out with Bernie Sanders, you get that answer. The oligarchy. Charlie Brown says, how would you answer Michigan Governor Daniels? Okay, so the question is, what does victory in Ukraine look like? The first tier is that we have to answer this from the lens of the American people, all right? We can't answer this from the lens of the Ukrainians. We can't answer this from the lens of the Russians. And I'm going to be honest with you. This will be my answer. I'm going to be honest with you guys. My first priority is A, to reduce the loss of human life, and B, make sure that we don't have to continue to fund this because this is costing everybody. And so what victory looks like to me is a ceasefire and then a truce between Russia and Ukraine. And I'm happy that the president of the United States of America is still having conversations and trying to broker a deal, because we are the ones that are contributing the most into preventing a complete takeover of Ukraine. Essentially, we're the ones that's helping to fund this war. Now, we want them to maintain their sovereignty, and we want them to also continue to have their country. And we don't want more than 1 million people to continue to die on both sides. So what victory would look like on a very basic level is a ceasefire, us not continuing to pour money into Ukraine, Russia ultimately deciding that they don't want to continue this war because their pride is on the line, and then ultimately brokering a deal between the both of them so that we can reduce the loss of human life. That's a very basic answer. That's a very basic answer. You don't have to defer over to, oh man, what do you say? What do you say? What do you say? We want to reduce the amount of money that the American people having to pour into this war. We want to reduce casualties across the board. Ultimately, we don't want to get into a situation where we have to deploy troops or we have to continue to supply military aid over to Ukraine. And we want peace so that ultimately Russia can go about their way and Ukraine can go about their way, and then we don't have to continue to lean on other countries and other nations in order to continue to participate in this. This is a very basic answer. I don't really understand why that's so hard and why you got to defer as the governor for that answer. Is that hard? Is that a hard thing to say? You don't offend nobody. You don't take a side when it comes to blue versus red. No. Let's defer. Josh McLean says, I think AOC would have fared better by just saying, I don't know. Keon Bell says that explanation on coffee dates was top tier. It's facts. It's facts, bro. It's facts. I'm telling you, it's facts. You said AD will make a great politician. Oh, that's why we're getting all of the bullshit out of the way right now. Oh, Anton is going to definitely become a politician one day. Listen. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes, I am. Oh, absolutely 100%. I got big goals, big dreams. I got a path to success that's going to be so smooth and so sweet. Niggas going to be so mad. How did this nigga go from being broke in 2008, living in his mama's basement, to getting rich, taking over the internet, being the king of Black YouTube, and then ultimately he going to take on a political career too? Oh, absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. I'm building my base every day. I'm building my base every day. Every day I'm building a base right there. See that? Just got 2 more people to help me become whatever it is that I decide to become. I'm building my base every day. Oh, they so mad. Yes. I'm coming for it all. You think I'm gonna be sitting here playing around with these basic ass YouTubers that don't even know how to create content for themselves for the rest of my life? You crazy. You're insane. People want this shit. They want controversy. Absolutely. 100%. 1,000% I'm coming for it. Yeah, I got big goals. Anyways, make sure it's gonna be good to be my friend in the future. Because you niggas gonna need a favor. Hey, Anton, can I get a pardon for my cousin? Let me go back and look at these YouTube videos. Was you one of the ones that was supporting these niggas? Hey, Anton, can I get our neighborhood is dying over my property taxes is going extra high. Let me check my Rolodex. See if you were one of the ones that Let me check my Rolodex and see if you was one of the ones that was a panelist, if you decided that you wanted to do this. Hey, Anton, man, they about to open up, more infrastructure and cloud facilities in my backyard, and it's a big whirring sound. It's killing all of the birds. Was he one of the one? Let them continue to build over there. Don't worry about it. Fuck their property values. Let it kill it. Kill it all over there. We don't care about that place over there. Oh my God, Anton, you gonna let the whole neighborhood, the whole area, this whole county suffer because of the actions of one man? No one man can have all that power. Oh, what up, Shin C? Salute to Shin C. Anton, who gonna be your cabinet members? Let me go through the bag chasers. Your car, Slimmy, Quentin, Molly. Oh, Anton, you just picking people that you know. I know, because these niggas is loyal. Osriel. Anton, you need somebody to push back on you. All right, send me Eric D. We'll take Eric D. Who's gonna be your minister of defense? Shampoo. Island Girl Q. I don't know. It sounds like a good idea to me. You know what I'm saying? Sound like a perfect cabinet to me. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Anton, who's going to be your spokesperson, your press secretary? Charleston. I was talking to Charleston yesterday. Charleston White. Oh, yeah. So this is what we're going to do. Charleston. Charleston is going to be the press secretary. All right. Sound like a great cabinet to me. All right, let's get over here. Mamdani is raising taxes. Mamdani is raising taxes. Who's going to be my border czar? Border czar. Mika. Mika going to be my border czar. Shout out to Mika. Mika's going to be the border czar. She's going to be the person that determines who gets in and who gets out. Anton, who going to be your prayer captain? Carrie going to be my prayer captain. I'm telling you the truth. Carrie going to be the prayer captain.
Hello.
Carrie, I'm on a live stream.
Yes. What's up?
Carrie, listen. I was telling the people on the live stream that I was going to eventually run for office. What position do you want in the cabinet? Because they don't have a prayer captain.
Some kind of advisor regarding what you can say.
No, you gotta have an official position.
What position is your mom gonna have?
What do you mean?
I'm be with her.
Oh my god! No, you gotta have a real position.
Well, I don't know what I gotta look up some title options.
All right, tell me what position you want, because I'm gonna be running for office, and so I gotta put you in place.
Jesus. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
So Carrie's gonna get a position somewhere in there. We gotta figure it out. All right. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. What else we got going on? I love this show. I could just talk stuff, play around, give my thoughts, all of that stuff. Let's say Carrie gonna be the press secretary. Well, where we gonna put Charleston? Carrie is the chief. That's a good one. Chief of staff. That is definitely a good one. Where is Quentin going? Quentin is going to be, I don't know. I don't know where to put Quentin. They definitely going to be in there, though. I'm going to let y'all figure it out. I might do like a interactive thing where I let people pick my people. 2K will be 2K gonna be in charge of HUD. 2K could be the HUD secretary. What is the HUD secretary? 2K could be in charge of HUD. All right. Slimmy is gonna be the Minister of Defense, the Minister of War, the War Captain, Warlord Slimmy. All right, y'all. We gotta get back to the show. We can't keep joking around. We can't keep doing this. All right. All of the bag chasers gonna be they're gonna be the people that's in the staff. All right. Let me see. What else we got? Mamdani is he giving an ultimatum. Mamdani is threatening NYC property taxes. I told y'all that this was gonna happen.
The state doesn't tax the rich, they'll have to raise property tax here in the city.
And as political reporter Marcia Kramer explains, it's all part of his new spending plan that he calls a last resort.
But I want to be clear, $5.4 billion is still a very steep mountain to climb.
In laying out his $127 billion fiscal plan that, despite the gap, increases spending by over $14 billion, the mayor offered a strategy that offers Governor Hochul and state lawmakers a Hobson's choice. Either pass election year tax hikes on the rich and corporations, or he will raise property taxes on everyone, homeowners, building owners, and corporations that own property here.
The property tax increase, if the city was forced to do so, would be at a 9.5% increase. This is something that we do not want to do, and this is something that we are going to utilize every single option to ensure does not come to pass.
But to some, it was a cynical attempt to leverage his popularity to wring more money out of Albany. Facing re-election, Governor Hochul has already ruled out taxing the rich, even though, by Mamdani's calculations, it's only 33,000 New York City residents. And today, the governor said she was against a property tax.
I'm not supportive of property tax increase. I don't know that that's necessary, but let's find out what is really necessary for him to close that gap.
I pointed that out to the mayor, asking, I wonder if we have a situation where this is a clash between ideology and reality, and if faced with the fact that you won't get those taxes from Albany, would you really, really, really raise property taxes here in New York City?
This is not a conversation on the basis of ideology. This is a conversation about a fiscal crisis. And when faced with this crisis, the question is, who should pay these taxes? I believe that it should be the wealthiest New Yorkers, the most profitable corporations.
Councilman Simcha Felder.
Listen. I warned y'all. I warned you. I told you. I said it. I highlighted it. I told y'all that it would be virtually impossible for this guy to ultimately do what he keep preaching to y'all. And it didn't matter how many banners and how many people were standing next to him and whether or not the people thought that it was fair or not or any of that type of stuff. I said it. I told you. I warned you. I gave you examples of how it happened in the past, how it's happened in other cities, how people suffer, how ultimately you get a doom loop. I told New Yorkers. Why do y'all keep listening to talking points instead of, this is why you have to understand policy. This is how you have to understand how government works. This is how you have to understand who controls the purse strings of any city. City council, alderman, and then they have to beg the state for more money. I told you. I said it. I told you. I told you 1,000 times out of 1,000 that the people are ultimately going to be the one. You know how it's going to trickle down? You know why your rent is so fucking high in New York? Because the taxes is too high. Because the city doesn't know how to manage its finances effectively. Because they have over $44 billion in debt, $7 billion budget deficit, was $12 billion until they finesse some money from somewhere, and it's all projected, so it's usually wrong and off and low, and they paying interest on the money. That's why they want the Fed to actually knock down interest rates, because they're actually paying interest on the borrowed money and on the interest that they owe on the debt that they still paying. He came in with the big stick and said, listen, we gonna raise the taxes on the rich. Okay. You know who gonna suffer? You. It's always gonna be you. Listen. Rich people have the resources to do what they want. It is better to make friends with honey. You cannot keep on thinking that you are going to tax people to death and that people are not going to fight back. That rich people in particular, if there's anybody that fights back more, it's rich people. Rich people don't mind fighting. And they fight different than poor people. That's one of the things that I had to learn as I continued to get richer and my net worth went up and I made more money. I said, I can't keep thinking like a nigga. I have to start doing things differently. I play by a different set of rules. I have to play by a different set of rules. I have to become the ultimate villain in order to rule absolutely. And you know what you got to do as an ultimate villain? You got to start making examples out of niggas. And you know why you got to make examples out of niggas? It's the same reason you got to make examples out of niggas in the street. Do y'all know why y'all so scared to mention Israel? Why you're so scared to mention Jewish people? Jewish people don't even have as much power as you think that they do. The perception of power is why they are so powerful. It's because all they got to do is pick a couple different people, make examples, and everybody else falls in line. That's what they did to the slaves. I'm telling you the truth. That's what people did to slaves. Slaves at any point outnumbered the slave owner, the taskmaster, the dude with the whip. But you know what they did? They took the strongest and the toughest and they made an example out of that nigga. And they said, you know what? This is going to happen to you. This is going to happen to you. The perception of power is more powerful than the power itself. I'm telling you the truth. And so what they do is they handpick a couple people and they say, you know what? This one right here, getting a little bit out of line. Let's make an example and let's let them talk about us for a long time. They are going to say that we are the boogeyman. All we got to do is make an example out of somebody. Now people even scared to utter the name. What? The small hats. The small hats. That's what they do. Somebody said, I ain't afraid of Jews or Israel, but I do honor the covenant between God and Israel. I pray for them. That's why you ain't got no profile picture and your name is Ginger and Juice. Mm-hmm. Don't talk that tough shit to me. Don't talk that tough shit to me. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. That's why you ain't got no profile picture. And your name is Ginger and Juice. Don't talk that tough shit to me, big dog. You ain't telling me nothing. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Why are people scared of 50? Man, I don't want 50 to come after me. Y'all got to read the four. I ain't recommending no books to y'all. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. Listen. Mamdani is going to fail spectacularly. He's going to fail spectacularly. And the reason that he's going to fail spectacularly is because they are going to make an example out of him. Mamdani is the type that you have to quell and you have to make an example out of and you have to break him in every way, shape, or form. And the first way that they're going to break him is that they're going to raise taxes on the people because everything that he said, he got to deliver on, right? And so they're going to raise taxes on people in New York City. Rich people are not going to pay more taxes. They never will. They never have. Even at the rate that they paying it in New York, they're not doing it because that's on ordinary income. You are going to pay more in rent. You are going to pay more in bus tolls. You are going to pay more in subway fare. You are going to pay more in taxes. You, the middle class and the poor people. And it's going to get wider and wider, and the gap is going to get wider and wider and wider. He went from saying that we are going to tax rich people to if we don't tax rich people, then we're going to have to raise taxes on the people. We're going to have to raise property taxes on everybody. And guess what happens when you raise property taxes? Your rent goes up because somebody got to cover the cost. What up, Tabby? Y'all really believe the dude that came in here and said we're going to raise property taxes on all rich people? You thought that was going to fly? You thought that they was going to take that land down? I know people that would rather spend it on going against you than giving it to you. I know people that if you say, hey, I want 100,000, they'll rather put 100,000 on your head than give it to you and let you feel like you beat them. Rich people think different, bro. They don't give a fuck. Rich people think different. They don't think like you and me and him and her. They don't care about that. Oh, you gonna cross me? Okay, I got you. They don't announce it. They don't go online and do exposés. They don't do nothing. If they beefing with you, it's up. It's up. They strategize. How you want to play this? You think that they seen him walking around with all of them pink-haired people and blue-haired people, and they was like, ah, man, this is what's coming. We just going to have to eat this. What? Are you crazy? Are you smoking crack? Okay. All right. Well, I guess it's just all surface level.
Believe that it should be the wealthiest New Yorkers, the most profitable corporations.
Councilman Simcha Felder, a veteran of both Albany and the City Council, predicted that there would not be a property tax hike.
I think that there are a lot of tricks that magicians, and past mayors, including Bloomberg and Giuliani, figured out at the end. And I look forward to the current mayor succeeding at that as well.
So you're looking for tricks and magic?
Yes, and it occurs, and it occurs year after year.
Y'all not listening to him. You're not hearing him. You're not hearing the message that he's saying. Let me play it again. He was very clear to me.
A lot of tricks that magicians, and past mayors, including Bloomberg and Giuliani, figured out at the end. And I look forward to the current mayor succeeding at that as well.
So you're looking for tricks and magic?
Yes, and it occurs, and it occurs year after year.
That was a very, listen, of all of the things that Mamdani said, that was a very, 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 very clear message to me. He gonna get on board like everybody else. He's going to get on board like every mayor before him, and he gonna play the game how it's supposed to be played. He's telling you without telling you. He's telling you to your face. Everybody skip over this part and they go to the other part. This is the most important message in here. Let me play it again for the people in the back. You don't get it.
Councilman Simcha Felder, a veteran of both Albany and the City Council, predicted that there would not be a property tax hike.
I think that there are a lot of tricks that magicians, and past mayors, including Bloomberg and Giuliani, figured out at the end. And I look forward to the current mayor succeeding at that as well.
So you're looking for tricks and magic?
Yes, and it occurs, and it occurs year after year.
Y'all so sleep. Y'all so sleep.
As well, we'll start with Katie. Go ahead.
Hi, Mayor Mamdani and to Sharif and to Dean. Could you just explain?
Bloomberg and Mayor de Blasio to their successors. And that's even before accounting for enormous under-budgeted needs by the prior administration. Adams' November plan left the city with a $12 billion budget gap. When we took office, our team scrutinized every facet of city spending. Plan. As you can see here at the top, this is the November 2025 financial plan released by the Adams administration that projected a balance of fiscal year 2026 and then the out year gaps of more than $6 billion with a gap of $4.6 billion in the fiscal year 2027. Here, so I'll start with the first question. If we can actually bring the slide back to this exactly right here. So what the second path forces us to do is to utilize the rainy day fund and the retiree health benefits trust reserve. Now, as you can see in fiscal year 28, we do put investments back into those very reserves because we want the city to be on firm financial footing. However, there is a reason that we did not include these in our city's attempts to get to 5.4 billion, because these are the rating of reserves that we do not want to pursue. These are the kinds of reserves that what we would rather do is ensure that they remain as they are so that the city can be on firm financial footing. However, in order to get to this point of closing the gap on both this fiscal year and the next fiscal year, we are forced to raid the rainy day fund, the retiree health benefits trust reserve, and to increase property taxes across these other years.
I want to show y'all something really quickly. I want to show y'all something. I'm looking at something different than what y'all looking at, all right? Look at the numbers. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Those are projected budget deficits to where it more than doubles by 2030. It's the same thing that's happening over in Chicago. It's the same thing that's happening in Los Angeles. It's the same thing that's happening in Denver. It's the same thing that's happening almost every single major blue liberal city in the United States of America. Even if they were able to close the budget deficit by raising property taxes for 26 and 27, you are facing a financial cliff in 28 and 29 and 30. Everybody is missing a whole big picture because they're thinking micro and not macro. I'm telling you that there is going to be blood in the streets when it comes to your city's finances, and they are kicking the can down the road, and they are trying to appeal to the least common denominator and the lowest IQ person to keep them in power, but they are definitely going to have city managers in the future. It is almost going to become a permanent job in the United States of America. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. The smart people, especially the bag chasers, because we talk about all of this type of stuff and how it affects us from a financial perspective and how we are going to capitalize off of this, because the only thing that you can do when you see things coming and you look at the numbers, because the math don't lie. We could sit here and play games. We could sit here and go back and forth, but the math is the math. And the thing that we try to figure out inside of the Patreon and the bag chasers is how can we capitalize off of it, because we want to be on this side instead of that side. The class war has already been in full effect for the past 25 years. The gap between the haves and the have-nots is going to be enormous. It's going to be ginormous. It's going to be enormous. None of these cities are going to be able to survive. The question is, who's going to file for bankruptcy first? I'm wagering Chicago. I think that Chicago was the first to fall. Chicago was going to be when Detroit filed for bankruptcy, that was the precursor, that was the blueprint. That's how I'm able to speak so easily to this. Chicago, in my opinion, is going to be the first to fall. Because Chicago don't have the type of revenue that New York has, because New York still got 8 million people. I'm telling you, Chicago is going to be first to fall. There's no way that they can survive this. There's no way that they can make it through this. There's no way. And then they're going to have to partner and work well. They're going to have a good man. No, Detroit is not included. And the reason that Detroit is not included is because Detroit has had 11 consecutive years of budget surpluses. Is one of the rare blue cities in the United States of America that actually is doing well and is on solid financial footing. Why do you think that I staked my business and is focusing on continuing to grow my real estate portfolio in the city? I'm not looking at how y'all see it as far as how much pussy you can get. I'm looking at it from the perspective of what city is on better financial footing, what major city is on better financial footing than the rest of them. What city is on better financial footing than the rest of them? What city is increasing their budget surplus, their rainy day funds? They have credit upgrades, all of that. I look at the same way as I look at companies. I look at cities the same way as I look at companies that we invest in. And we have the technological capability to figure it out. We don't even have to guess no more. I don't even have to Google it. Is Detroit in a budget surplus or deficit?
As of December 2025, Detroit had a budget surplus of around $105 million. This was their 11th consecutive surplus.
So Detroit has had 11 consecutive surpluses, and have they had a credit upgrade?
Yes, that's true. Moody's upgraded Detroit's credit rating for the 11th consecutive time last year. That shows a lot of confidence in their financial progress. Is there anything specific you'd like to know about the upgrade?
Tell me about the Chicago budget deficit.
Chicago is facing a projected budget deficit for fiscal year 2026, estimated to be around $1.15 billion. Reports indicate that part of this is due to the exhaustion of one-time federal funding. Is there anything specific you're interested in?
What about 2027? Is there a projection for Chicago in 2027?
Projections for Chicago's budget for 2027 aren't typically available this far in advance. Budget forecasts usually look just a couple of years out. Is there anything specific you're trying to find out?
Can you tell me about the budget in Los Angeles?
Los Angeles County's budget is quite large, around $48.8 billion.
No. The city of Los Angeles. Does the city of Los Angeles have a budget deficit or a budget surplus? And how has it been looking over the last 2 years?
Efforts to avoid a structural deficit and sustain services despite budgetary threats. Are you interested in the city's budget or the county?
I'm interested in the city's budget.
The city of Los Angeles has typically been managing its budget carefully. They've been aiming for a structurally balanced budget, although, like many cities, they face challenges. Over the last 2 years, the focus has been on recovery from various impacts and maintaining services. Is there any specific time frame or aspect you're curious
Does Los
about?
Angeles have a budget deficit or a budget surplus?
The city of Los Angeles aims for a balanced budget. While they work to avoid a structural deficit, the last 2 years have presented challenges that required careful management to maintain essential services. Are you interested in their specific budget?
What is the specific budget deficit that Los Angeles has right now?
As of November 2025, the Los Angeles City Council approved a plan to manage a projected $263 million budget gap for the current fiscal year. This shortfall was linked to unexpected spending across various departments. Does that provide the specific information you were looking for?
Yes.
Great. Is there anything else about Detroit's or Los Angeles's budget you would like to know?
Can you tell me about Houston? I haven't done any research on Houston's budget. Have they been having a budget deficit or a budget surplus?
Houston has been facing a chronic structural budget deficit, meaning their recurring expenses have generally exceeded their recurring revenues over the last few years. They've balanced the budget on paper by using one-time sources, but that's not sustainable long-term. Is there any particular fiscal year you're interested in?
2026.
For fiscal year 2026, Houston City Council actually passed a balanced budget. They addressed a significant budget shortfall through strategic cuts and other measures. It was a notable achievement compared to previous years.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
she can get a little stubborn sometimes, but we're going to get her through there. But the point is that I look at everything. And I think that New York, they're in trouble, bro. They are in trouble. Y'all want me to do Maryland? I can do Maryland. I'll do Maryland real quick, and then we'll move on to the next part of the show. No, I don't want to. Maryland, no, Maryland is a whole state. I want to do Baltimore. Can you tell me what the budget deficit or surplus, the projected budget deficit or surplus is for Baltimore?
Recent reports seem to indicate that Baltimore faced a significant budget shortfall in fiscal year 2024, which was largely due to overtime spending by some agencies. The projected figures for Maryland as a whole are also looking towards a deficit for the next fiscal year. Is there a specific year?
Bro, all of these cities is in trouble. All of these cities are in trouble en masse. I'm telling you. When I look from an investment perspective, I look 10 years out. I look at where we are, where we're projected, where we're heading, and what is my money going to do? What is my real estate portfolio going to do? What is my investments going to do? What is my business going to do? What are we going to do 10 years out? When we have conversations in the Patreon, we're having conversations about what our portfolio, making the right decisions and doing the research about what it's going to do 10 years out. Telling you, bro. Telling you. All of these cities are in trouble. They're in trouble. They borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. They taking one-time spending, one-time rainy day fund. It's bad. It's bad. It is very, very bad. It is so bad. But, you know, it is what it is. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I keep hearing people talking about voter ID. I'll come back to foreclosures in a minute. Appreciate you. Well, let me read some of the super chats. And then we gonna come back to it. Keon Bell says, I've been a barber for 30 years, and the more I watch, the more courage I have to move from behind the chair to bigger goals that I have. Thank you, fam. Oh, you can do it, bro. You can do it. You definitely can do it. A lot of times we get so content with what we're doing that we stop investing. Let me tell you what the key is, Keon. Let me tell you what the key is to do that. You got to build it up while you're doing whatever it is that you do professionally, right? And so what happens is most people don't just quit cold turkey, or they don't just jump off into whatever it is that they think will be more meaningful or more fruitful or more rewarding financially. They don't do that. You know what you have to do? You got to force yourself out by making your business or whatever it is that you're doing outside of that so lucrative that you can't afford to stay. That's what we deal with when it comes to corporate America, because we call it golden handcuffs. The benefits is too good. The equity is too good. The pay is too good. And so you never really leave. You ultimately stay. Even people I know that had corporate America pay for their degrees and stuff, they never actually go into the thing that they want to do. You know why? Because they never worked on the thing that they wanted to do after work. And so as you continue to cultivate it, eventually you get to the point to where you don't have no choice but to leave, because you're leaving too much money on the table by staying. Everybody that I know that transitioned over from whatever it is that they're doing professionally had to be forced out because they couldn't afford not to continue to focus on their business. Every mentor that I have had to be forced out. Including myself. It became to where corporate America was second to what I was doing, because my businesses and my content creation was banging so much to where I couldn't stay. I was planning my exit. But a lot of people don't cultivate it. Manny Plays PC says, Anton win the presidency, I'm going to be like Dave Chappelle when he learned Oprah was pregnant. What? Conman says, this ish is crazy, man. Anton, you're really the king of this YouTube. Everything in my recommended is Anton. Love the show. Gotta stay in the algorithm. You gotta stay in the algorithm. By any means necessary, stay in the algorithm. All right? Look at that. What was weird? We was just crossing 1080, 128, right? Just from sitting on this show. By the time that this show ends, in a couple hours, we'll have another 1,000 subscribers. In a couple of hours, we will have another 1,000 subscribers. You know why? You know why? Because you can't stop the rain when it starts to fall. What? Hold on, let me get this up. Ooh, they ain't like that. They ain't like that. All right, a little bit of an interlude. A little bit of an interlude. We back. We back. Let me see if I recovered real quick. Let me see if I recovered. Ooh, we back. We back. You know how like people like, let's say somebody say something and they go to apologizing to the internet and they say, oh my God, I didn't mean it. Guys, forgive me. Don't mass unfollow me. That don't happen to me. You know why? Because people like the fact that I say what I want to say when I want to say it, and they love me for it. They love me for it. I'm Marlo right now. I'm Marlo. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what some of my ops is doing. Hold on one second. Give me a second. Let me see. It's looking grim out here. It's looking grim out here. That's what they got on their main channel. It's looking bad. Looking bad out here in these streets, man. Niggas is starving. I got a list of ops that I go and check through like once every 2 weeks. Lately, I've been checking on them like once a week. It's starving. These niggas are starving out here in these YouTube streets. I heard revenue down. All of that. It's bad. I gave niggas a stimmy pack over the last month and a half. What more you want from me? What more you want? What more do you want from me? What more you want from me? How many? All right, I got you. I got you. Give me a second. We're going to get there. Can the bag chasers get the books list? Y'all want me to put a books list together for y'all? I went and got it out the trash, Yakar. I went and got the list out the trash. I said, fuck. You know what happened, Yakar? The minute that I threw the list away, niggas thought it was sweet. They thought it was sweet, so now I got to go back on my villain arc. I had squashed and destroyed niggas, and then everybody thought it was sweet, so I went and got the list back out the trash. All I had to do was go on Apple and say recover, put it back. I went and got the list out of the trash. Now I got to start making examples out of people. You'll see. Give me 2 weeks. You're going to see the first domino fall in 2 weeks, and then you're going to just see a wave. It's just going to be a black hoodie wave that just go after to just sweep the streets up. You know what I'm saying? Watch, give me a couple weeks. Be patient. Y'all got to be patient. Y'all got to be patient. All right? I promise you, I'm gonna feed the streets. But you got to let me put things together and get things in order. All right? Let me see. All right, I got you. I'm gonna get a book list together. I like that bear in the profile picture. Hardcore News says the 1% property tax enshrined in the Cali Constitution by the residents in the 70s is the reason why values are high here. Dems been trying to get rid of it to raise property taxes statewide for years. What up, though? The BTSI show says, good morning, afternoon. Salute people in the Chasers. Read up for another year. Shout out to my dogs. Yeah. I ain't seen you in a while. You getting back active? Why people keep asking me about Carrie? If I want to kick it with Carrie, I can call her. Didn't I just call Carrie? Y'all heard her voice. It gave you a little bit of satisfaction. You got your fix for the day. Oh my God. Niggas was all flipping out. Oh my God. Is that Carrie? Oh, Jesus. Listen to her voice. It's so soothing. Didn't I give you your fix? I didn't give y'all your fix? Y'all Carrie fix? Good gosh. Chris Cunningham says allegedly Eric Adams left him $8 billion. Bitcoin Brown says, I need that 5-minute spot on the calendar, boss, where you can get me in to talk about site. All right, I got you. Give me a second. TS Car Washing Detail Service says, Shaq or Snoop, who you see more? What do you mean who I see more? Who do I see more active? Shaq is out here. Shaq be in the streets. TS Car Washing Detail Service says he saw Ray J bleeding in the eye. I don't take in Ray J's content. Because I don't know what's real and what's not. Thoughts on what Faison said about 50 Cent. I didn't hear him. I didn't hear what he said about 50 Cent, to be honest with you. Food for thought. Ozzy says, Mr. Daniels, what's up, sir? What's the blueprint to turn content creation into a real career and income stream? Well, we're about to have a content creation live stream inside of the Bag Chasers, inside of the Patreon. If you hear, you'll get it. And then I'll re-upload it for y'all to rewatch for those of y'all that don't catch it live. So you get it. Imports and lowriders. I like that name. We will get the Bag Chasers hats. Will we get the Bag Chasers hats before the summer? Hopefully you'll get the Bag Chasers hats before the end of the month. That's the goal. I got 2 birthdays this month. All right? I got 2 birthdays. Matter of fact, let me do this. Yo, I'm on the live stream.
What's going on?
How you feel about having another birthday coming up? Specifically tomorrow.
I feel fine. I feel good. I'm excited.
About your birthday?
Yeah.
You old.
Whatever. I'm only 24.
Where you get that number from?
That's how old I am. I'm only 24. And you right behind me, sir, like in 2 months. So we the same age.
I don't count birthdays no more.
What?
I don't count birthdays no more. I exist.
Just because you don't count it don't mean that you're not getting older.
I just exist. I don't count birthdays no more.
Okay.
I gotta go. I gotta get back to the live stream. I've been playing too many games and I gotta get back to the people.
Bye, everybody.
Gotta get back to the people. Let's get back to it. Somebody said 24, ain't that your side chick age? I thought that your girl was my side chick. Fuck the shit out of her. Change your life, my nigga. Take your girl, make her my girl. That's our girl. But I'm gonna just let her. I'm gonna let her drive your car for the night. That's my girl. Nigga, that's our girl. Don't you know that? Don't you know that? Oh, focus your car. My bad. You know that I'm going into that dark place. Let me back up. Let me back up. Listen, I like the chat. I like going back and forth with the chat. We was gonna go there, nigga. That's our girl. They keep asking, what is it about AD? Is it the money? Is it the talking? Is it the watches? Is it the lifestyle? I got big dick energy, nigga. I got big D energy, nigga. When I walk in the room, my dick was there before I got there. That's what it is. People don't understand that shit. It's a way that you move around. You can't teach that shit. When you niggas are scooting past, and I take them long strides, I walk in the door, it was already there, nigga, before I got there. That's the difference. You can't teach that. You can't fight that, nigga. It's the way it's been. When you call your girl on the live and let's see how she responds. What you calling me today? When I call, it's hello. Oh my God. Oh wow, I'm feeling so good today. When you call, what nigga? When I call, hey. I gotta get back to the show. I ain't got time for this, bro. I ain't got time for this. I heard that Whoopi Goldberg was in the Epstein files. Did y'all hear about that? This is breaking news to me. Did y'all hear about Whoopi Goldberg being in the Epstein files? I heard about it. See, they don't want to talk about it now, but I heard she in the Epstein files, and she responded to it.
In the name of transparency, can you put up my name is in the files? Yes, I'm getting dragged. People actually believe that I was with him. It's like, honey, come on.
Whoopi Goldberg explaining how her name ended up.
I gotta find this. Hold on. I gotta find a source. I don't want nobody narrating it. This is it.
Clearing that. And you'll, yes. And you'll want to.
told me I could.
You'll want to.
Yeah.
But just think about it. How would you have felt if someone had just done that to you? Yeah. If you put yourself in their place, it makes it a little easier. It just does. Yeah. Take my word. I mean, my kid's all right. She's 51. So she's all right. Yeah. So far. Yeah. So let's get to what's going on here, because there's a lot happening in the world. The Justice Department released a massive list of names from the Epstein files and claimed their job is done. Now, you know who also thinks this matter is settled, but both sides of the aisle are demanding transparency, including Hillary Clinton. Take a look.
We have no links. We are files release
files. Now, in the name of transparency, can you put up my name is in the files? Yes. And what does it say?
Whoopi Goldberg needs a plane to get to Monaco. John Lennon's charity is paying for it. They don't want a charter, so they're looking for private owners. White Feather Charity Ball. I don't know what all of this is. from Jeffrey Epstein to whatever. So let me ask a question before she get into her explanation, right? Let me ask a question before she get into her explanation. Because I have 2 points to make here before she even starts talking. The first point that I have to make is, why didn't she highlight that she had business dealings with Jeffrey Epstein? It's not about whether she was on an island or any of this type of stuff. Because do I believe that Whoopi Goldberg was on an island? I don't think that Jeffrey Epstein, she not that type. She not that type. Whoopi Goldberg clearly is not Jeffrey Epstein's type. All right? That's neither here nor there. But here's the question. While all of these people were trying to hold Trump accountable and that they were trying to hold all of these other people accountable, Frumpy ain't it. Facts. Why are they trying to hold all of these people accountable? Why were they not forthcoming? And why did they wait to see if they were in the files before they provided an explanation for how they were doing anything? It don't matter whether it was business, whether it was a charity ball, whether they knew him, whether they met him, whether they shake his hand before. How come none of these people actually said anything? Why did they wait to see if they were going to be in the files before they started providing an explanation for it? That's what I want to know. I don't believe that she was on an island or nothing like that. No, I don't. But why did they wait? Because if this was never released, do you think that Whoopi Goldberg in any capacity would ever say that she had any dealings whatsoever with Epstein? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. All of these people are dirty. And if you think that his money wasn't good enough, the only reason these women on The View have the views that they have is because they on The View. The only reason the women on The View have the views that they have is because they on The View. It's because The View is paying them to have the views that they have. You think that these women are smart enough to think for themselves, or do you think that the producers is telling them how they got to move, what they need to say, and how they need to go about saying it? Shit, I told y'all before that I showed y'all the previous footage when they was cozying up to Trump. Trump said, whoopee, whoopee, whoopee. Now, you know, me and you have been friends for a long time. And, now that I'm running for president, I understand that you may have philosophical differences. But whoopee. He was invited on The View. He was having a good time. Prior to him running for president of the United States of America, they love Trump. They love Trump. Whoopee. That's what he said to her. And she tried to act like she was him downstairs. She tried to act like she was offended and all of this stuff. Come on, man. Stop.
It says Whoopi needs a plane to get to Monaco. John Lennon's charity, it should say Julian Lennon's charity, is paying for it. They don't want to charter, so they're looking for private owners. Here's the info. And they give all the information, and they're saying, do you want to offer your G2? Okay.
And it looks like they said no thanks.
Yeah.
So in other words, anybody can be on this list.
Well, this is my point, because
wait a minute. When we was calling for Trump to release the files, anybody could have. No. It was only the people that was on the list that was tied to Jeffrey Epstein need to be held accountable. They forced some motherfuckers to sell their companies. People selling their production companies. They selling they private equity into companies that Jeffrey Epstein had ties to. Everybody being forced to sell. But you know what? Anybody can be on the list. Anybody. Wait a minute. It was cool when y'all thought it was just Trump on there. Now anybody can be on the list. You see the hypocrisy? You see the hypocrisy? You see how things change? Everything changed all of a sudden when it's you. When it's your tentacles and they saying, wait a minute, but we did business with you too. And you was a part of this charity preview and gala too. And we used your visibility and your likeness and you shook my hand too. And you got in with us too. And we knew who you was too. And we had people that was, because see, this is the documentation. Because emails can be used to trace back to the thing. We don't know the conversations that happened behind the scenes. We don't know what happened in person. We don't know how they was able to get in contact with her in the first place. We don't know what they did. We don't know how much money was exchanged. We don't know nothing. We don't know nothing. But we do know that she know who Jeffrey Epstein was before we knew who Jeffrey Epstein was. She knew who he was. She knew what was going on with Epstein before any of us knew. And guess what they did? Shut the fuck up and prayed that none of them was attached to it in any financial way whatsoever. Because see, I don't think it was just had anything to do with little kids. I think that the connections, the network, all of that stuff was a part of it. That's the thing. Is that your homie or no? No, listen. It was just they was gonna send a plane, all of this shit. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get out of here, man. Stop it. Stop it. Don't play that game with me.
And I tell you, people are trying to turn me into. I wasn't his girlfriend. I wasn't his friend.
You were too old for him.
I was not only too old, but it was at a time, where this is just not. You used to have facts before you said stuff.
But
now you got to have facts.
Was on the list 38,000 times.
Well, I can't speak to him, but I'm speaking about me because I'm getting dragged. People actually believe that I was with him. It's like, honey, come on.
No. You deserve to get dragged like everybody else. Because the same way that you insinuated and you promoted and you tried to act like Trump was in it and everybody else is the same way that you need to be accountable for it too. Because let's be clear, there's nothing in the files that indicated Trump was ever on the island or that he ever did anything that was inappropriate. But you deserve grace. So let's not extend grace to nobody except for Whoopi, y'all. Let's not extend grace to anybody except for Whoopi. We need it more than one time. We needed to be mentioned more than one time in order to hold her accountable.
Every man that I've ever been with, you've known about him because either the Inquirer wrote it about it.
Yeah.
Your people wrote about this stuff. So no, I never had this, and no, I didn't get on the plane because you know what I would have to do to get on the plane?
Fly.
They were trying to,
And she doesn't
and
fly.
so they're trying
She's
to
a
get
bus
me.
babe.
They're trying to get me to get on a plane to get to this thing for Julian Lang.
Yeah, but the thing is, they dropped like 300 names.
Yes.
And it's like flood the zone because when you're looking, there are people like Marilyn Monroe who was dead.
Elvis.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Listen. It's a lot of bloviating in here. It's a lot of excuse making in here. It's a lot of talking in here. But the fact of the matter is, if it's good for the goose and it's good for the gander, it's good for everybody. If it's good for them, it's good for you. If it's good for you, and it's good for you. If it's good for you, and it's good for you. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. Nope. I don't want to hear it. So anyways, that is Whoopi and her excuse or her explanation to why she should not be tied to Jeffrey Epstein. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Shout out to imports and low riders. I got you. So Snoop not out here, big dog. Listen, me and Shaq follow each other on Instagram. So I get, every time I open up Instagram, I get to see what else he's doing. So this thing being in another country, DJing. I don't follow Snoop. So it's a little bit different on that lens. So I'm sure Snoop is out here. Shaq got a two-door Lucid, tough. I would never buy a Lucid. For me, it would only be Tesla or an American electric. If I'm gonna buy an electric automaker, it's either gonna be an American automaker or it's gonna be a Porsche Taycan. I loved that Taycan. I love that Porsche Taycan. That car was so dope. Would you interview Dame? Probably. Is that what y'all want me to do? Y'all want me to interview Dame? Okay, here's a question. What would I ask him? What would I ask him? What is there to ask him that hasn't already been asked, stepped on, stepped over, went through? What is there to ask him? It would have to be something of substance. I'm not interested in interviewing somebody just for the sake of interviewing people. P. Parker here says, why can't I join the Patreon, not give the option? Got to ask you, why can't I join the Patreon? Why can't I join the Patreon, not give the option? Got to ask you questions on rentals. What do you mean you can't join the Patreon? You can join the Patreon. Is one tier? No, it's 2 tiers that's not sold out. You can join the Patreon. It's in the description. Shout out to Dis. Dis, what up, though? I appreciate you, big dog. Detective Anton, you asked too many logical questions. That's how you gotta get to it. Shout out to my dog Slimmy. I see my dog Slimmy in there. Peapod, everything is paid for through charity, says Wesley Turner. Shout out to Wesley. Yeah, of course it is paid through charities. All right. What else we got going on? Car prices, CNN polls. What's up with this voter ID? Let me deep dive into voter ID real quick.
Welcome back. Top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer insists the Senate will vote to block the SAVE Act, a Republican bill requiring voter ID, proof of citizenship in federal elections. Take a listen.
What they are proposing in this so-called SAVE Act is like Jim Crow 2.0. They make it so hard to get any kind of voter ID that more than 20 million legitimate people, mainly poorer people and people of color, will not be able to vote under this law. We will not let it pass in the Senate. We are fighting it tooth and nail.
Hold on.
We're just looking for these individuals as they're registered to vote here. John Thomas and Philip Thomas. Is Gloria here by chance? Because she's 100 years old and she voted last election from here.
Can you see my? I said I want.
I just want to make sure you're not 126 years old.
No, I'm not.
And do you think it's possible, like illegal, to register to vote? Ask him, why don't you need voter ID to vote here inside of California? I was curious, how come in California you don't need voter ID to vote?
Because when you sign your affidavit, you're swearing that you're telling us the truth, and we compare the signature that you put on your application to the
Battery 65%. Mm-hmm. Do you think it leaves any room for error with voter ID, or? Yeah, I'm just like curious because I want to make sure that like our elections are as fair and honest as possible. And I feel like voter ID is just something super simple to have. And do you think it's possible like illegal migrants could be voting?
Not really. How? I mean, what's showing the ID?
Yeah, if they don't have their ID, and they could just sign on behalf of Richard Sherman, then they could technically vote, right?
What's wrong with us, man? What is wrong with us? Are we seriously having this conversation where the people in power are sitting there playing in our faces and acting like voter ID ain't necessary to prevent election fraud? If we can't protect the integrity of our elections, and if all somebody has to do is sign something to say that they are somebody, then what the hell are we doing, bro? We're seriously having a conversation about defending fraud when it comes to our elections and voter ID? What? Come on. It shouldn't be anybody in this chat that's sitting here playing this game with us thinking that we should not have voter ID play out in some way, shape, or form. This is dumb, bro. This is so dumb.
Yeah, but what if they just don't care? What if like Richard Sherman and Billy Bob Joe just don't care? But so you don't think illegals would ever vote, would you?
I don't think so.
No. So
this is so dumb. So let me bring y'all up to date on what the SAVE Act is, because I know that we not interested in mass. We may be interested in the bag chasers to become more informed, especially to make a decision politically. But I understand that the majority of America and the culture, especially in urban environments, needs you to break it down from a C student's perspective. And so it's important for us to do our research so you'll know exactly what the SAVE Act is. So that if you run into a pink-haired, brace-face, septum nose ring, big back, middle-aged, liberal white woman, and she says, "Oh my God, anybody should be able to vote with no ID," you can tell her, "Hey, listen, did you know about the SAVE Act? The SAVE Act is being introduced in legislation, and the Democrats are fighting it, and the Republicans are pushing it." And she was like, "We don't need anything to be saved. We like it the way that it is." Well, now you can be informed. And when you jump on these panels and when you have these conversations, you can now also know what you're talking about because you learned it right here on the Millionaire Morning Show. The Millionaire Morning Show, Millionaire Morning Show. Like Reading Rainbow, you can say that I too know what the SAVE Act for voter ID is.
Has officially passed the GOP's Save America Act. The act would require government-mandated proof of citizenship, such as passports or birth certificates, to register to vote. It would also require states to remove non-citizens from existing voter rolls.
So all the SAVE Act is proof of citizenship in federal elections. That's it. You have to have a real ID compliant with showing U.S. citizenship, or you can have a passport, or you can have a military ID with proof of U.S. birth, or you can have a government-issued ID showing birth. So basically, you just have to have identification when you go to the polls in a federal election to show that you are who you are. Simple. Simple. So, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, this is logical. I show ID for anything else. I can't go to the liquor store. I can't drive a car. Shit. I can't get in a casino. I can't even jump on an airplane unless I have some form of a government ID to prove who I am. For the people that make the laws of the country and decide whether or not we're going to war or we're not going to war, or if we're going to control the purse strings of Congress and all of this stuff, right? It only seems logical for somebody to have a valid government ID to vote. Why would this be something that anybody, Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, Tea Party, Diddy Party, why would anybody fight this? Nobody should be against this, right?
register to vote. It would also require states to remove non-citizens from existing voter rolls. Supporters of the bill say it would protect election integrity and crack down on non-citizen voting, while opponents argue the bill would make registering harder for millions of voters. So the Constitution already prohibits non-citizens from voting in federal and state elections, and state election boards say instances of non-citizen voting are rare. The bill now.
Well, that's the SAVE Act in a nutshell, all right? The SAVE Act in a nutshell is simply that. CNN was fighting about it, I heard. Abby Phillips was out there fighting all of this stuff. And so, you know, different people were saying different things. And I don't have the CNN panel up right now as Bakari Sellers talking about it and stuff like that. But, damn, I forgot about Vivek Ramaswamy. Wonder what Vivek got going on over here. But, matter of fact, let me pull this up on X.
File their taxes, something that is very complicated.
You can do it
People
online.
have to outsource. During COVID,
But you can do it online.
people had to go and get a vaccine in person. I went twice. I had to carry my
What
little
does that have to do with
voting? I had to
voting?
carry my little card around.
No, we're way off track on this. No,
we're not.
The government expects a lot of things of people for taxes.
Can I just explain to you the difference? Can I tell you
Why
the
can't
difference?
we expect?
Can I tell you the difference?
Why can't we
Can I
expect
just explain to you the
something
fundamental
far
difference?
less onerous?
Yeah,
proving that
please.
you are
Would you
who you are.
correct?
For people who don't have access to those things, to be able to get to the DMV, to be able to get to places where you can get a passport.
Our government expects a lot of us. Every single year, every single person is expected to file their taxes, something that
I don't really see what the problem is. I'm trying to understand why is this an issue with voter ID, and why is Chuck Schumer and company and people sitting there playing in our faces acting like voter ID is not a big deal? Why is Chuck Schumer fighting against voter ID?
Top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer insists the Senate will vote to block the SAVE Act, a Republican bill requiring voter ID, proof of citizenship in federal elections. Take a listen.
What they are proposing in this so-called SAVE Act is like Jim Crow 2.0. They make it so hard to get any kind of voter ID that more than 20 million legitimate people, mainly poorer people and people of color, will not be able to vote under this law.
I'm so tired of the bar being low for people of color, and we need to separate black people from people of color. Honest to God, we do. I'm so tired of the bar being in hell. Oh my God, you're a person of color. The fuck does that even mean? Talking about what is people of color? Putting us all in the same group, all the poor people of color. No.
Will not let it pass in the Senate. We are fighting it tooth and nail.
Let's bring in Florida Senator Ashley Moody. She serves on the Senate Judiciary as well as Homeland Security Committee. Senator Schumer's main argument here seems to be that requiring voter ID will make it impossible for certain groups of minority voters to cast ballots. The reality, though, according to latest Fox News polling, it shows us that it is precisely those groups he is, aiming, he says he wants to protect, who do not agree with him. Take a listen at this. 76% of Black respondents, 77% of Asians, and 82% of Hispanic respondents all support requiring voter ID at federal elections.
Yeah, this is a real head scratcher, and every American should wonder why they are pushing back so hard against ensuring what is already law is in fact reality. It's already law that only citizens vote in their representative form of government in federal elections. What we're faced with now is an unprecedented surge in illegal migration over the last administration. And coupled with that, because of many other declared emergencies, they pushed out, mail ballots for all. So we're seeing these really unprecedented election trends in many states. And we know that there are states out there that do not care what the law is. In fact, I've had to push a Safer Truckers Act to make sure that these states are not giving commercial driver's license to those not here legally or that cannot read road signs in English. We know there are states that
she, aside from that, she has a very plain face. She has a very drawable face, in my opinion. I don't know why. She has a very Robloxious face. Very drawable. Very much, I can get on my iPad and make another her right now. I don't know what it is about white women. White women have a very drawable face. Very plain. Very is it just me? I know it's not me. Yeah, factory settings. 100%. It's almost like when you go back to the factory settings, you ever did a 2K character and you just get the basic character when they don't have no VC. This is the basic character, no VC person. Eric, you know this is the Millionaire Morning Show, the Millionaire Derailment Show. She has a very drawable face, eyes, face, all of that. I'm not saying nothing is wrong with her. You know what I'm saying? She cool, she chilling. I'm just saying she drawable. No VC having head. But she's right. She's very Robloxish. She's very much right. We need to have voter ID. Every time I go to the airport, I have to have my passport. I carry my passport with me at all times. My passport is more important to me than my driver's license. You know why? Because I know that I need it in order to get from place to place on an airplane. If you're telling me that people can't meet it, listen, if you're not responsible enough, Chuck Schumer, if you're not responsible enough to be able to have an ID, then what makes you think that you're responsible enough to actually go out and vote? That's my, because we have to start using common sense when we having these conversations. If you are not smart enough, responsible enough, or wise enough to have an ID, a basic ID on you, then what makes you think that I think that you actually gonna take the time out to go to the polls? Fuck is we talking about? Nigga, you're not going to the polls. You're chilling. You're winging it. You're mailing it in every day. Every day you're mailing it in. I can't convince you to go and do the right thing. I can't even convince you to go get a job. You think that I think that you about to go out and vote and that you're about to be an informed voter? This is nothing but voter ID fraud. This is nothing but fraud in itself. And we need to start calling out the bullshit. I hate Democrats. I hate what it is that they stand for. They become so liberal and they become so evil that they're willing to just say it right there in front of our face and we supposed to believe it. Oh, no, you don't need an ID to be able to vote. I think I need an ID to get into a bar. They card a nigga and I'm clearly over 21 years old. Nigga, you need an ID to breathe. You're not even supposed to be walking out down the street without some form of identification. What up, Eric? And Epic? But it's all fake. It's all fraud. And that's how they able to pull this shit. I think it's way more conservatives in the world, way more conservatives in the United States of America than we like to give credit for. It's way more conservatives out here than we like to give credit for. What's the first thing that they ask you when they pull you over? Driver's license, registration, and insurance. I just give it over. I don't even ask no questions. Because when you start to ask questions, then you start to look suspicious. You looking nervous. Hello, why did I get pulled over, officer? That's all red flag. So what you pulled me over for? Man, you just trying to stop. Red flag, red flag, red flag. That means you got something to hide. You just give them the ID, keep it moving, then they're going to ask you the follow-up question. So you know why I pulled you over? No, sir. Well, you was going 55 and a 49. Okay. How's your driving record? It's pretty good. All right, just sit here right now. All right, just sit here right now. Give me a second, and I'm going to go check some things out. And that's it. When you don't respond, when you don't talk, then it's a very straightforward conversation, and you go ahead and get your head on your way. All of that extra talking, all of that. So you pulled me over. Now you provoking me. Now your ass about to get pulled out of the car, and they can smell the alcohol on your breath. Make sure you hit a like for the. I'm gonna keep you 100. I'm gonna teach you. Make sure you keep a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Oh, snaps. I actually did cross the 100 mark. I crossed the 200 mark. I'm about to cross the 300 mark. On subscribe. Listen, I'm too good. Too good for these niggas. Too good for these niggas. They don't like that. They don't like that. You need your ID to buy ganja. You need your ID to buy ganja. Maybe we should have an Anton watch. Let's do an Anton watch. What y'all think? Y'all think we should do an Anton watch? Ganja. I want to share one more thing. Let me read some of these super chats before we move on. El Brando. Oh, snaps. We still going up. Let me remove that for niggas start getting jealous. Jealous. Let me get that off my screen for they start getting jealous. El Brando says, when I think about the Matrix and when they said most people will take the blue pill and defend it, hold so much weight in today's real time. That's a fact. What you got, an infinity in there? What you got? That's an infinity. I like that. I like that. Very customizable. 80-20 issue says SG. Only liberals want no ID to vote. Facts. SG says I'm black and have my passport on my iPhone. They got passports on the iPhone already? Dang. David Brown says that artist contest they used to have in the mail and the magazine. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Artist nigga so stuck in the mud. I want to talk about foreclosures really quickly. We're going to move Bitcoin to tomorrow. And I want to talk about foreclosures. This is a conversation that Patrick Bet David was having the other day. And so I want to share it with you guys. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Foreclosures bloodbath deepens as banks seize 40,000 homes in just 1 month, and the pain is only beginning. 40,000 in 1 month. Let's see what Tom's got to say about this. With the number of Americans losing their homes to banks rising for an 11th straight month, it's clear the housing.
You could tell Patrick Bet David be working. He ain't even got no voice.
Prices getting worse rather than better. U.S. foreclosure activity jumped again in January 2026 with a total of 40,534 properties facing foreclosure filings, a 32% increase from the same time last year. Foreclosure filing cover every stage of the process, from the moment a lender issued a legal warning to the point a home is formally seized after missed mortgage payments. While the total was slightly lower than December, January still marked the 11th straight month a rising year-over-year foreclosure activity, a clear sign the pressure is building, not easing. He said foreclosure starts. Foreclosure rising across the board, said Rob Barber, CEO of Adam. He said foreclosure starts when lenders formally begin the process of taking back a home are up 26%, while completed repos have surged nearly 59%. Tom.
So
I've been talking about this year that this K-shaped economy we're in, and what's happening with the consumer. When I talk about 1.26, we're almost at 1.3 trillion of credit card debt. That is stress on the consumer. That means he can't pay for other things. And when core things have not come back down, remember, inflation rate is now moderated. It's not rising anymore, but the prices from yesteryear are still very high in baskets of goods for the consumer. And
so real life PJ says, AD, is it self-inflicted or is this due to something out of our control? I think it's more self-inflicted. There's a difference between 2008 and 2026. It's a major difference, a massive difference between 2008 and 2026. And let me tell you the difference. Is because in 2008, we mortgaged our future in the 90s. The bill came due in 2008. People got so greedy and they had their hands in the cookie jar so much because there was no real regulation that anybody can get a mortgage, right? They were getting adjustable rate mortgages. They was getting ninja loans. Nobody even knew who had the loans. And there was so much fraud, rampant fraud in the mortgage industry from people trying to capitalize off of it that the banks got rich and then they got bailed out. All right. So that was systematic. Everything that happened in 2008, from the housing crisis, from the loss of the jobs, from the resetting of the economy, to the selling off of manufacturing jobs in the United States of America, in my opinion, it was all systematic. The Bushes were culpable. The Clintons was culpable, and Obama inherited it. All right. 2026 is different. Look at all of the factors that go into it. $1.3 trillion in credit card debt. Klarna, Afterpay. Motherfuckers got $800 and $900, $1,000 car loans. And that's not including the insurance. People in 2021, 22, and 23, and I warned you. I said, listen, stop. Don't buy at the same rate that everybody else is buying in. And that's when I got into purchasing land. And I started documenting it on the Patreon about the land buys and building houses. Why? Because people bought more home than they needed. It's so many factors, and I'm going to break them all down for you right now. In 2021, 22, and 23, the banks knew that they were going to be merging after that because they knew that basically people had fast forwarded the refinancing of their homes because the interest rates were so low, because the Biden administration was looking for anything to kickstart the economy. So that's where you got unemployment insurance. That's where you got PPP loans. That's where you got refinancing. The caveat to that is that all of those people that are trying to grasp on and hold on to those mortgages, which is one of the reasons why housing prices isn't coming down, is because they're holding on to the interest rate because they'll never be able to get that interest rate again. So they can't move. They stuck in a house. And here's the worst part about it is that they spent more than 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, sometimes $150,000 more than the house was worth, more than the asking price. No inspection because A, the interest rates were so low, and B, they thought that they would never have to go back into the office. People lost their mind. They completely changed their lifestyle. Motherfuckers act like I know people that moved out of state when the job eventually said, hey, listen, you got to come back into the office. They had to quit. They was asking for a buyout. They had to quit. So many people moved to Florida and couldn't sustain their lifestyle. So many people moved to Texas, couldn't sustain their lifestyle. Then you had a dump in California of people, California and New York, of a lot of people that got rid of their properties at the height of the purchasing, and they pocketed all of that money, and then they went and got a place over in Texas, Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio. They moved down to Florida. They moved to Cape Coral. They moved to all of these different places. And then guess what happened with the people in California? They said, I want to go back. Because they wasn't used to the lifestyle. Because they wasn't used to the weather. They wasn't used to the less humidity. And so a lot of people are moving back to California, and they willing to basically live a less than stellar lifestyle so that they can have the weather because they said it ain't nothing like California. It's a lot of people that's in Florida that moved to Florida and their property isn't worth what it is that they paid for, that they bought a cookie cutter home, right? Because they was chasing the fact that they felt like they never had to go back into work again and they had to give up their jobs, or now they being foreclosed on. It was a lot of women that had government jobs that wasn't doing shit. I'm breaking it down for you. That wasn't doing shit. And when they sat there and they came to us and they said, well, women are the big bosses and they're the number one buyers of homes, guess what? They was putting 3.5% down. Sometimes they was doing creative financing. They didn't even have a fucking down payment, but they said that they had a home. And what they didn't factor in is the maintenance, the property taxes, the distance between you moving out to the suburbs nowadays because you didn't have to go back into the office anymore, right? All of those things, all of the piper is coming and they saying, we want our money. We want our money. You built the house, but you pay property taxes off of the land. And once the house was reassessed, once it was built, now you got to pay property taxes and it's too much. All of these people that overpaid for these properties and they can't maintain it, guess what? You got to pay the maintenance bill. A lot of people are living in houses with no furniture. They're house poor. This has nothing to do, consumerism. This has nothing to do with the economy, jobs, or any of that type of stuff. You know what this got to do with? A bunch of bad decisions, self-inflicted wounds, and Me Tooism. You know what Me Tooism? Oh, he did it, so it must be the right thing to do right now. But guess what I did? The leader of the bag chasers. You know what I did? I sat tight. I said, hey, y'all, let's pay off our debt. Let's pay off our mortgage. Let's make sure that while we don't have any interest, you know how many people sat there and told me, no, Anton, I'm going to get my student loans forgiven. I said, you should pay this off while they're not having no interest on your student loans. No, Anton, I'm going to get mine forgiven. No, man, I think that Biden going to forgive all of our student loans. Guess what Trump did once he got back in office? Hey, pay them student loans or your credit going to be fucked up. You know what all of those people that bought houses was doing? They was budgeting their money based off of the fact that they wasn't paying their student loans. Now don't nobody want to pay their student loans. Oh, shit, that's going to be on my credit report. I'm telling you, they decided not to pay their student loans and they bought a new car. They bought a new car. I'm telling you what they did. When we were sitting back chilling, dumping money in our stocks, paying off our debt, making sure that we didn't have no mortgages. Now, listen, who looked like the genius? Everything comes later. Who looked like the genius and I ain't got no fucking mortgages? And we did everything. Anton, you shouldn't do everything cash. You need to do some financing. You can expand faster. I said, nah, I'm cool. I'm sitting here with no pressure whatsoever. Checks come in every single month and continuing to add into it so that I'll be able to take advantage of the fact that y'all niggas about to artificially depress the housing market so that I can go and buy more. And guess what else I'm buying? Bitcoin. I have been buying up more Bitcoin than ever before because what do we do as chasers? I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I'm doing. I'm buying on the dip. I'm buying on the dip. Guess what's never going to go away? Crypto, Bitcoin. The same thing that they did when they started to have tariffs and everybody said, oh my God, the stock market is going to go crazy. Nah, I'm not waiting for shit to drop. I'll buy more at 30. I'll buy it at 20 if it go to that. I'm going all in. You know why? Because I don't have anything but time and I don't have to worry about needing the money to do anything. So I'm just going to wait and continue to capitalize off of it because this is what people that get super rich do. They buy when everybody else sells and then they wait when everybody else is trying to buy. What up, Black Beauty? And Black Beauty be holding me the fuck down. I'm going to say that too. Y'all don't think I be knowing and that I be seeing when y'all be in other people's chats and shit like that. Black Beauty be holding that shit down. She's been holding it down for years. I'll be looking in the chat when I be seeing other people's live streams and people be sending me stuff. I don't be checking for the live stream. I'll be checking to see what the people in the chat saying. I don't be checking the live streams. I'll be checking to see what my people saying. I'll be trying to see, hey, oh, I see such and such in there. Oh, are they different in my live stream than they had at other people's live streams? Oh, no, Black Beauty be holding me down. Okay, that's a real one right there. That's a real one right there. Oh, hell yeah, I'm in the comments. Because I need to know who the ops are. I need to know who the ops are. You know what I'm saying? I need to know who the ops are. So I do think that this is an artificial situation that's happening.
So now the consumer is coming to the point, especially those, remember, this is repossessions of homes. This isn't renters. These are homeowners that can no longer pay the mortgage. And you look year over year, the foreclosures are up. Foreclosure is like the final late notice. Vinny, you're 30 days late. You're 60 days late. You're 90 days late. Vinny, we're officially in foreclosure. We're foreclosing. In other words, we're going to shut down your mortgage. Then what happens to repossession? The repossession is up almost 60%. This is a sign of deep stress in the lowest, in the lower, and if you dive into these numbers, Pat, it's actually happening to the lower half of the middle class. And the lower half of the middle class are the wage earners that have less savings and less margin for error, less ability to get through a stress. And that's what's happening right now.
Rich people are not the ones that are going to pay the price for your bad voting, your bad policies, living in liberal cities, subjecting yourself to the bullshit. Rich people are going to capitalize. They are not going to suffer. I have said this 100,000 times. When everything goes kablooey and everything goes kaplat, guess what we're going to be sitting on the sidelines doing? Waiting to buy it all up. Waiting to buy it all up. I'm going to be on the right side of history every single time. Ever since 2008, I said that I was going to be on the right side. It is not rich people that have resources. Do you know why? Do you know why there's people that say, yo, I'm about to pull back. I'm about to chill out. It ain't that they don't have no money. It's not that they don't have no money. You know why they do that? Because they are capitalizing. They're stacking money. They are stacking money so that they can ultimately capitalize off of your dumb decisions and your misfortune. That is why they're doing it. It's because they know that you got a limited shelf life for how long you're going to be able to maintain that property, and they're going to come and get it for pennies on the dollar. Yep. That's the real way that you get rich. You got to have resources. You got to lower your debt so that you don't depend on the money, so you can reduce your tax burden. And then ultimately, you go and capitalize where everybody else is playing games. That's where you run up the bag.
You've got the lower half, Pat, is under deep stress. And remember, these are trailing stats.
Let me show y'all this.
It takes...
You only got to get rich once. What does that mean, Anton? What does that mean, you only got to get rich once? It means that once you get the money, once you get that initial injection of money, your goal is to maintain it. So how do you maintain it? A, you don't jump off the bridge and overspending and blowing money that you don't necessarily have to blow. And B, you then become a buyer. The initial idea on getting rich, whatever it is that you get rich with, right? Your initial get rich, however you get rich, that's all you need. That's why they say the first million is the hardest. You know why? Because the only thing that you have to do once you get rich is learn how to capitalize off of the fact that other people is dumb as fuck. I don't have to do anything except for wait for you to do some dumb shit. Go and do a hard money loan. Go and buy some shit that you can't afford. And we just buy it at a discount. We get it cheap because we got capital now. All getting rich is getting capital. And if you don't spend it, which is one of the things that we teach you how to multiply inside of the Bag Chasers, all you doing is buying something that somebody else can't afford and waiting for it to do. What do you think that big bro? People live off the money. So all I gotta do is have the capacity to chill long enough to actually capitalize off of it, because I don't need to spend the money. I don't give a fuck if Bitcoin, if I bought it at 40 and it goes to 10, I don't care. You know why? Because I don't lose money unless I sell. And because I don't need the money, all I got to do is be patient. That's all I got to do. Wait for you to fuck up. That's it. Because guess what you're going to do? You're going to vote wrong. You don't understand policy. You don't understand politics. And you don't understand that it's a class war instead of a race war. So all we do now, and I learned this in 2008 when I went broke, is I wait for you to do some dumb shit. And then I say, all right, well, listen, I know you need the money, so I can give it to you for this. And you'll say, but guess what? You need the money. So guess what you're going to do? You're going to take the money. Money talks, bullshit walks. All of this other stuff that you're talking about, all of this cultural war and shit, guess what? You got to get up and go to work in the morning. You got to get up and go to work in the morning. When you get done complaining about what you don't like and who you pissed off at and whether or not you think somebody is from the United States of America, you got to take your punk ass to work in the morning. You know what I'm going to do when I get off this live stream? Promise to God. I'm going to lay that futon out right there. I'm going to have something soft come here and sit here and be my muse. And then they're going to nurse me to sleep. See that right there? I'm going to take a nap right there, nigga. Right there. I'm going to have some drinks. I'm going to have something pretty and soft here. We're going to talk. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to act like we give a fuck about what we're talking about. Just long enough for me to lock the door and take my clothes off, and then I'm going to take a nap, nigga. That's what I'm about to do. Right after I get off of this. Right after that. Oh my God, Anton, what are you talking about? Anton said he always had bad bitches with him. Facts. 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 You need to get on the program, nigga, so we can fix your life. Anton, fix your life. Facts. That's a fact, nigga. 100%. You know why? Because I'm being patient. And I'm waiting on you to lose your house so I can come and buy it for a song. You know what I participate every year in? Tax auctions. You know why I go to the tax auction? Because it's a nigga that ain't pay their bills, and I'm coming to get it. I'm going to wake up from my nap, and then I'm going to come and get your property. And there ain't shit you can do about it. You know why? You know why you can't do anything about it? Because everybody still got to pay their rent, and I'm still building houses. Oh my God, I can't believe Anton said it. I said it, nigga. I said it and I meant it. I said it. Oh. And every year I show the bag chasers, hey, this is what I purchased, this is what we building. And then eventually we get the permits popping and we start building it on the land. And we keeping it moving. I can't believe he said that. I know, I just said it. I just said it, bro. Now what? And I'm still taking applications. So make sure you contact Quentin. Oh man. Let me read some of these super chats. I need to take a nap. We had the three hour mark. I gotta take a nap. Manny Plays PC says the reason they don't want voter ID for national elections is because they know eventually they'll work its way down to local elections too. David Brown says it's been a minute since you played your theme song. What's my theme song? I don't remember my theme song. You know what the funniest part about this whole thing is because you'll never ever be able to tell the difference between if I'm trolling or if I'm telling you I'm just keeping it 100. You don't know the difference anymore. You don't know the difference anymore. Am I trolling or am I just being 100? What's my theme song? I don't remember my theme song. Kinda. That's my theme song. Shout out to David Brown. What did I tell you, married? I know, nigga. I know what I am. Thanks for reminding me. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says Shaq said he don't understand Bitcoin. That's why he never invested. That's smart. Never invest in something you don't understand. Daddy and the Caddy says, once you hit 2 million to 2.5, you rich forever on T-bonds, says Daddy and the Caddy. Anton seemed like a Mustang type of guy. I had a 5.0. I had the Mustang. I had all type of cars. I ain't never seen my Mustang before. Let me see if I can find it. Oh shit, this is skinny time. This is liberal time. Oh shit. This is liberal time right here.
So I just got done cleaning up the Mustang. One thing that you want to make sure you do, put Armor All on the tires. It's like getting a haircut without a lineup.
Yeah, I had the Mustang. There it is. That's the Mustang. London Ray Solution says I got a family member who can't afford the house. I'm waiting on it to hit foreclosure. I'm gonna snatch it up in my y'all mean. Y'all mean. Y'all are so mean. Don't do that. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, you like Shannon's new show called Nightcap Outside with him, Ocho, and Joe? I haven't seen it. Now, and I'll pull it up in a second. Hey, Anton, I'm a New Yorker in Long Island that prays and hopes we can vote Kathy Hochul out and put Bruce Blakeman in and flip New York red as Sammy and all of these stupid liberal policies and make New York great again. I like that. And thank you for your service, Daniel. Thank you for your service. I see you with the uniform on. I love it, bro. I love it. Shout out to my Long Island New Yorkers in the building. Get a Shelby. Yeah. See what Ford talking about. Ford. I love cars. Whenever y'all telling me to go and get a car, Vehicles, cars. Damn, the Mustang only started at 32? It's pretty fucking cheap. What is Ford AI? What the heck is that? Oh, that's a chat. Like what? Let's see what we got here, guys. Let's go. This is what me and my brother used to do all the time. No eco boosts. Got the GT 5.0, Dark Horse. What is a Dark Horse? Dark Horse Premium. What's the difference between a Dark Horse and Dark Horse Premium? Get it for 70. 480 horsepower versus 500 horsepower. What's the difference? I'd rather just get the GT Fastback. 6-speed manual transmission. Active available valve travel. What's the point of getting a Dark Horse 500 horsepower first drift? I don't need no drift brake. Give me this one. It's too difficult. I wouldn't drive it anyway. So really, I mean, I don't have no time. Anyways. What's the point of getting a Dark Horse? I don't understand it. Listen, I'm not the type of person that drives car. I don't buy cars to sit them no more. Like, I don't buy shoes to sit on them. I buy stuff to wear it. I buy my watches to wear. I buy my cars to drive. I buy my sneakers to wear. That's how I buy my stuff. So probably resell back. No, man, I'm trying to drive my stuff. What are you trying to do all of that? Anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We got the Q show tonight. We're going to get it popping. I had fun with y'all today, just kicking it, chopping it up, having a conversation. We getting it in. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to see y'all tonight. Peace.